on to number 5, we're going to somebody a lot more recent. It's coming in with 15 points. Both Max and the Mountain put it number 5, and Josh put it number 8. It is Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman in American Psycho.
Christian Bale did an amazing job convincing me that he was actually crazy. I think there's multiple times where you don't know what's going on. Actually, a fun fact with the one scene with William Dafoe, his character, they did it three different times. I think one was where he suspected that he was like the bad guy, one where he didn't know at all, and then one where he was actually convinced. So, yeah, I just thought that Christian Bale, he had a lot of help, and then of course the way it was just visually capturing that one scene. I know you guys talked about it with the horror movies, but he's just trying to get that chainsaw at the right spot, and then just drops it. Yeah, but I love Christian Bale in that movie, and he did a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He did a great job showing how that sort of lifestyle can make you so detached from reality and humanity that he just didn't care about anybody really. His own wife, he thought of her as like not even a person, and just more of an annoyance really. And then everyone in his office, he didn't care. He was so vain. He cared more about his business card than than Paul Allen's life, pretty much. He just cared about like minor details, the face mask he would wear to get rejuvenated every night. But yeah, he just did a good job portraying just being so detached from everything, just losing touch with reality.
And to think that he killed Paul Allen just because of the reservation at Dorsia.
Yeah. I was saying, like, he just like, it's like humanity's not even a thing to him anymore. So he's just like, I'll kill you just for this stupid little thing.
There's a scene in that movie that really shows how great of an actor that Christian Bale is. There's a scene where his assistant comes into the office and he asks her to pick a place to eat, and she says Dorsia, which is like the restaurant that he keeps trying to get into, but it's always booked. You can't get a reservation at Dorsia. So, but the subtle change in his face when she says Dorsia, it was really well done by him, and you could tell that it really bothered the character that she would pick Dorsia.
Also like
But
the
then,
scene.
but then he plays it. But then he plays it off as if it was no problem. Then he fakes calls Dorsia and pretends he has the reservation.
Yeah, because he's all about appearances. I think I don't know. I think like one of my favorite scenes in that movie, of course, besides the card scene, I just think that's like it's just so memeable. But anyway, that really shows how good of an actor Christian Bale is. Is like near the end when he thinks like the cops are after him and like the helicopters are after him and all that stuff, and he's like in the office and he's calling his was he calling his assistant or I can't remember, but he was telling him like he murdered people.
Lawyer.
A lawyer, okay. And he was telling him like he's murdering all these people and he's like so hysterical and stuff. I mean, that was just a really good acting job by him.
Yeah, good job, guys. Sorry, I'm looking at I got work. Sorry, work stuff. All right, yeah.
Get off your phone, millennial.
Very great actor. Very versatile. All right, we're going to go on to number 3, which again, there was a two-way tie, both with 25 points. The first one we'll talk about is an actor we just recently talked about not too long ago. It was voted on number 1 by D3 as well as Vitamin J and Max. It is Daniel Day-Lewis as Daniel Plainview in There Will Be Blood.
I'm glad Jacob and Max have some taste.
I put him in here because what's the director's name?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I usually don't like his movies, and I actually like this one pretty much solely because
I
of
like his movies.
well, not solely because, but because of Danny Lewis and also Paul Dana, yeah. But he just with like Bill the Butcher, he just stole every scene he was in, and his iconic scene near the end when he's talking about drinking your milkshake, hard to get better stuff than that there. But during the whole movie, he just he would do anything to get the oil. So he would just, no matter how low he had to stoop, he'd do it, even if it meant joining the local church and just passing by, just going through the motions of tricking all these people, thinking he's one of them, just so he can get their oil. on the backside.
Yeah, it just showed that he used anybody to achieve his means, which was obviously wealth. He even used his own son to get people's good graces. That was basically the main reason he had one, just so he can look like a father figure and people would trust him. But yeah, no, I mean I like the whole movie. I remember the first time I watched it. I knew. I mean, you basically watching a masterpiece. I mean, and pretty sure did this win Best Picture or did the Dumb Country win that year?
I
No
think
country,
so.
no
The
country
Country one.
didn't win,
Okay, that's right.
but
That's
he
right.
did
And
win
then
his Oscar
he
for
won
that.
the best.
Did
Yeah,
win
he
the
won Best Actor. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who would even compete with him in this movie. No, it's my favorite acting performances, and this is also my second favorite movie. So I watch this pretty much just about every year.
And I'll say, if those of you who haven't seen, the best scene to me is when he is at the church. He's saying that he abandoned his child. There's some great acting
Yeah,
by
that's.
both Paul Dano and Day Lewis.
I was really close to putting Paul Dano on my list for
Yeah, I mean,
this
because
role as
every
well.
movie he's in he's really good.
And every movie he gets beat up. It's just
Yep.
Well,
There's also a
that's
scene in this movie that's really well done, where he's talking, like he meets his brother, or at least the guy he thinks is his brother, and then he talks about how he
Mhm.
doesn't like people. I thought that was a really well acted scene.
and like I said, if anybody expects any redeeming qualities from this character, there are no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, very very committed. This is actually, I think, between this or My Big Left Foot, depending on who you're talking to, this is like the performance that is talked about as his greatest performance
well,
between the
I consider his performance in My Left Foot to be the best performance I've ever seen.
I disagree.
I would say it was this one.
I've seen bits of it, but I think the pedigree for My Left Foot is harder.
See, like
The
my thing with
pedigree
like
is really hard for what he had to do.
his performance in My Left Foot, like my thing is like it's honestly hard to watch. He's that convincing.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
so
Well,
like I said,
he was very committed. He broke some of his ribs doing that.
there
Yeah,
were
and so
there was
like
not a more dedicated
yeah,
actor than him.
yeah, this dude got pneumonia because he wanted to live in the 18. He wanted to be so authentic to the
Yeah,
And he
1800s.
and then,
learned to be an authentic butcher.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he was a shoemaker as well. And
Mhm.
then he,
And then in the last
why
Mohicans,
not?
he learned how to hunt and all that. He built his own place.
Pretty
Mhm.
sure he thought he was American in that movie.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
quite possible.
I
Yeah.
remember. Never mind. I won't bring that up. When he was asking, we were worried how far he would take his performance in Lincoln.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
Oh yeah.
surprised he didn't run for president. Trying to run for president after Lincoln. I mean, you know. All right. So tied with it is another iconic performance from another actor. It is probably his best performance. It's definitely his most iconic performance. Very quotable, especially his speech at the end before this character, while this character is looking down the neighborhood and giving this epic last moments. It was voted on number 10 by D3, number 3 by Vitamin J, number 4 by The Mountain, and number 2 by me, coming in also with 25 points. It is Denzel Washington as Detective Alonzo Harris in Training Day.
I mean, there is no other Denzel Washington performance that can top this, in my opinion.
Malcolm.
I mean, as I say, I don't know if it's his best performance, but it's definitely his most fun and
It's
like
his best.
highly. It's his most watchable for sure. He's just so good in it. In fact, I'm of the opinion like I think Training Day is a great movie, but without Denzel in this movie, it wouldn't even be that great of a movie, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, his whole like the fact like the whole crooked cop, and again, like I said, that speech he gives at the end. I mean, the line "King Kong," hey, and I mean, just his Denzelism, how cool and smooth he is. Like, gets a cigarette and it's like, like, go ahead, kill this dude, finish this dude off for me after everything, like, bloodied and.
But even the
You
first
gotta put
scene in
in
the
your own work.
movie where they're in the diner and he's talking about
Yep.
how he likes the news, he likes to read the newspaper because the news is BS, but it's entertaining. And then Ethan Hawke keeps interrupting him, and then pay the bill.
Yeah, like reaching between your pockets and pay the
Yeah.
bill. Denzel was just phenomenal in this role. He totally killed it, and honestly, you kind of end up rooting for him at the end. Like you know
Not me,
what
not
happened.
me.
No, I didn't want him to die like that, man. They
Uh,
He kind of deserved it though.
they did
He
him
was
worse than
scummy.
Butch and the Sundance Kid, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They shot him up full of holes.
yeah, man, they lit him up. Look.
I mean, I felt good for the neighborhood. They got rid of a freaking tyrant.
It was a bad neighborhood to begin with, bro. You could say that.
Man. And look at the other people nominated for Best Actor. Yeah, Denzel definitely deserved that win that year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did. But I was gonna say there were some good performances because you had I'm blanking on his name.
Ethan
Russell
Hawke.
Crowe in A Beautiful Mind.
yeah,
he was
yeah.
as well.
You're talking about, okay.
Beautiful mind. It's a beautiful heart.
And Will Smith and Ali. But
The crazy thing about Training Day is like my favorite scene in that movie doesn't even have Denzel in it.
Oh,
Which
really?
is what?
What scene is it?
It's a scene with Ethan Hawke and Denzel just left them with this. I don't know. That scene is so good at building the tension because, like, slowly but surely, Ethan Hawke realizes, like, oh, wait a minute, they're going to kill me.
And it's crazy, like just the amount of events that have to happen in coincidence for Ethan Hawke's character to escape that fate
I know,
there.
right?
Like I did not see that happen. Like
Or the odds he say that guy was it Nice?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean that's my favorite scene in that movie.
Yeah, I think something that can't be taken away from his performance is like how he was like, and I think I see where Josh is going. Like, you're not pulling for him, but Denzel's very cool. Like, in
It's,
that,
well, it's like
Horrible.
yeah,
very cool.
Charisma
Yeah.
gets you a long way, even in real life.
it's like it's like you want to keep watching him because he's so cool and whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you really think about it, it's like, oh, this guy's awful.
Yeah. And I mean his girl was Eva Mendes, who is
Yeah.
I know, right?
Well, I mean,
That's
the
how
movie
he's
also
got it, you know?
showed. The movie showed how desperate he was to pay off his debt because remember he, obviously he set up his own friend, the criminal, and then they killed him and split the money up.
mm-hmm.
How comfortable are you with that? Oh, I'm very comfortable.
I mean, just everything that my mate. I've seen it so many times imitated. Most people, when they imitate Denzel, that's the movie they go to.
It's
Of
probably one
that.
of those quoted movies. I mean, how many times have you seen people said King Kong, the King Kong line just alone? So
Yeah.
I will say he had me dying when he was like walking up the stairs and a girl walks down below him and he's like, oh, all that jelly, no bread, or something like that.
I think the one thing about Denzel in this role was more that it showed everything that cops aren't supposed to do. They had fake search warrants, stealing property, seizing property, and not turning it in and stuff. And I just think it was crazy that he was able to get away with so much. And for me, like I said, I kind of still wanted him to be around for Trading Day 2. Obviously, you're good for the first one. You don't need a second one after that. But,
Lonzo's Revenge.
No, they missed. All those bullets missed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
even
he's in the Matrix. He needs that, dude.
Right? Yeah. No. They would have somehow he survived a million, like 200 bullet holes.
He's just a little wider now, is all.
No, get rid of the cryo tank from Dragon Ball.
No, they need a sense beam, man. They give him a sense beam.
Sensu beam, yeah, he'll be alright.
It would be in the hyperbaric chamber or hyperbolic, whatever the heck it's called. At that time.
Yep, hyperbaric chamber. You're right. Number 2. Again, this is probably very iconic performance. It's definitely this guy's best performance ever. Came in with 39 points. It was voted number 1 by The Mountain, number 3 by Max, number 4 by Vitamin J, number 3 by also D3, number 10 by Big Joshy, and number 6 by me. It is the villain, Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa in Inglourious Bastards.
I mean, that opening scene.
Yeah, that opening scene alone.
So I remember when I first saw this movie, I had no idea who Christoph Waltz was. I
Mhm.
knew,
Did.
again, like I said, the first scene. I knew when I was watching this movie, I was watching like an all-time performance. I was like, I don't even know who this guy is, but he is killing it. I mean, he killed it in like 3 or 4 different languages. I mean, that's how
Yeah,
good he was acting in the movie.
Well, I do like how they portray like you're not gonna outsmart him. He is always like one step ahead. So these guys just pull out the unexpected on him.
Mhm.
Try to match wits with him, you're done.
He's such a so conniving and just evil. I mean, it's just a brilliant performance. It's so enjoyable too.
I
to
do like the
watch.
brilliance of that opening scene. He's like, yeah, I already know that down there. I'm speaking French, but I'm gonna switch to English on you.
The
So,
shift
When I
in
first
his
saw that, yeah.
the shift in his
Yes.
facial
Yeah.
tones when he asked if there were hiding Jews underneath the floorboards.
It's
Very,
like some of the best.
very well done.
That scene alone, some of the best like just acting right there I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
by far my favorite Tarantino movie, and that's
sure,
his performance
for
one of the
sure.
main reasons why.
should
Yeah.
have won the Oscar.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone else could have done what he did in Hollywood. Even
Well,
Daniel,
no.
even Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm like he couldn't have done a good job as
But no, because
Christoph
no one
Waltz
can
in that movie.
speak all those languages like him.
Yeah, I think Jacob's right with that scene in the beginning. Like when he walks in, he's speaking so joyful, kind of shooting the breeze in the beginning
a
with the
friend.
guy, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna turn it on now." Okay, where are you hiding the enemies of the state? It was like
Yeah.
he's playing no games from that point on. He's like, "All right, we're done."
When he busts out that ridiculous pipe.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. He like because the farmer has his little pipe, he's just casually smoking, and then he pulls out this big, this gargantuan type thing.
And that just speaks to like the character because like he just had to one up him, just show he's
Yeah.
dominant. He
And it
essentially just
wasn't
whipped
even
it out,
yeah, it wasn't even like it was eccentric or nothing. It was just like this is so casual, nonchalant. It was like like
Just show you that he's in control of the situation.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that delicious milk.
Yeah, this being a dairy farm, I thought
And he does a
try the
really good
milk.
job of in the movie. He shows that he will say whatever he needs to say to get his means. Like in the beginning of the movie, he talks about how he hates being called a Jew hunter, but later in the movie, he talks about how he actually likes the name.
Yeah, being
Just
embracing
he
it.
basically embrace it. He basically whatever suits his whoever he's talking to, like basically, and then as soon as like going in the movie, he easily gives up Hitler and everything else just so he can live. So he'll do whatever it takes for him to live.
Yeah, typically like his role in the movie, he was like always one step ahead. Like he even with the climax of the movie, with the bombs in the theater, he knew Von Hammersmark was the whoever she was, you know the name. He knew that she was the mole and that she was responsible, and the guys did a terrible job at trying to pass for Italian.
Yeah,
I have.
Hey, Tom, Dominic the Coco was great.
Coco.
bravo.
Grazie.
Yeah. But he
Grant.
spoke the third. You speak the third most Italian. I don't speak
I don't
any
speak any
Italian.
Italian.
Exactly, third most.
And he, like I said, I just love how he can just turn on a dime. He be friendly with you, but as soon as you make that one slip up, that switch turns.
Yeah, well, like during a movie when he's trying to find the bastards, you don't know exactly because he's trying to find evidence, but you don't know what he's going to pick up on. So you're like, oh no, did that clue him in? Did this clue him in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Also-
the
go.
Nazi equivalent of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's probably one of the best detectives since Batman.
Yeah. Also, I like as you talked about him flipping it on and off in the beginning season. One of the favorite parts I have is actually at the end of the first scene, is when she's running away, and he's like, he shoots at her, and he's like, "Oh, well, I missed you. Till next time." Like, kind of this, like, I know I'm gonna catch you. You got away now,
because-
but I'm gonna get you.
Because you can tell through his acting, like he just views Jews as not even people. They're like rats or vermin, and he's like, it's only a rat. I'll get it next time.
And like
Yeah.
Barbie thinks that he knows, like when he meets her in the cafeteria again, like
Oh,
he knows
man.
that's who she
Oh,
is.
he knew. I think he
So
knew.
good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But the tenseness, because he knew, but you didn't fully know. You're like, I think he knows, but he kind of never fully
Yeah, when he
revealed. You're
his
feeling
face
this.
when he asked for milk.
Yeah, see, I was like, like he's just like
He's
Nah, he
Grim
he definitely knew. He definitely knew at that point.
Oh yeah. So I think he also kind of had again that like charisma of like horrible person, but you can really tell he was having a great time. Just doing this is fun. And he was just
I'm sensing with a lot of the last ones are likable villains, and I have a feeling the last one's going to
There's
be a likable villain as well.
Well, I will
we
say,
like
usually the best roles are the villain parts.
Yeah.
A lot of
Usually.
times.
Mhm. Very much.
It is definitely a theme in our list here. I mean, but how many of these people have been villains?
So,
I mean,
yeah,
most of them, right?
someone take a quick look and count how many villains there are before number one, because we had Sugar, Plainview, Bill the Butcher,
Con.
Hans Landa, Alonzo Harris. So that's most of the dang list right there.
On my personal list, only 2 of my 10 are not villains.
Yeah, out of the 12, I'm pretty sure 9 of them were villains. We can go to honorable mention, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's go with some other ones. We did have coming in with 9 points. It was Mr. Caton's second place. It is Tom Hanks as Chuck Noland in Castaway.
I mean, this movie speaks for itself of how many times people meme about to this day. I mean, just being lost on an island, and the only thing you have is like, what was it, UPS boxes or FedEx, whatever it was.
And Wilson.
And Wilson, like the fact that
Wilson!
the fact that like the scene, like it's kind of like I Am Legend, where it's like he's by himself and it's one actor. But he does such a great job, just performing like the whole time, like having everything he does is like you really feel like if you were on an island by yourself, you'd be doing that type of things. Like imagine like having a toothache, for example, like how some things that are more mundane like become like a huge problem if you're by yourself. So his acting is so good in that.
I will say Tom Hanks did such a great job. He made you care about volleyball.
The
volleyball you felt that. You felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
And the ending's just devastating. I felt so bad for him at the end.
Oh yeah, losing his wife
He went
and everything.
all that.
Yeah. Tough break.
I mean, I can't blame his girlfriend. I can't.
He
so
actually
bad
thought he was
for him.
dead, you know?
Still, what does he do? What does he do from there? Like, okay, I survived. I'm back, and I have nothing.
Yeah. Like my life. I might as well stay on the island, you know? I just had my volleyball.
Me and Wilson.
Still alive.
But the next one we're gonna mention another iconic role. We talked about him another time, and has a famous series coming in. Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I mean, yeah, he's on my list too. It's no surprise if you watch the
know.
channel enough.
We know.
I knew it.
I like Star Wars a little bit, so and yeah, the fact that he's gonna be
Hello?
having his own, like, we're gonna see a transition from him being like the wild, like West kind of like Jedi into like more like the old stoic, like I'm a guardian. I'm gonna kick your ass, but I'm gonna wait and see what your first move is, what he becomes later. And so like I had to put him on my list because I can't wait. I'm just hyped about the new Obi-Wan show coming out May 25th. So
Look, we know he's going to win all the fights because he has the high ground.
yeah, exactly.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
I mean, I will give you Katan. He was definitely one of the best parts of the prequels. Of him as Obi-Wan was definitely one of the best parts.
Yeah.
So
And he kind of murdered Darth Maul, kind of.
yeah,
Yes.
only halfway. That was a hard stretch.
it was an amazing move. All right, we have another one we got to discuss because when I saw this being put on the list, usually I don't reveal who's on the list, but I saw this name and I instantly had to ask the group who the heck this is. I had no clue who this person was. I thought maybe I'm in the non-know. D3, we're telling you, you're number 4.
And
Yeah, that guy. Who?
Well, he's from Cambodia. He a doctor before the Khmer Rouge came there, and he has a very tragic backstory. He was operating on a patient. Khmer Rouge came. He had to make a decision. He had to let the patient die, so he can live. Then eventually he made it to America. His wife died during childbirth during Cambodia. He made it to America. And making a film about Dick Prawn, who was a journalist who also survived the Khmer Rouge. So he portrayed him. And he gets such a great performance, in my opinion. But it also kind of feels like, he's like just reliving what he went through. Like, he went through so much. And then tragically he was murdered because someone robbed him and he wouldn't give up his locket. But it's a phenomenal performance, and y'all should watch the movie. It's a great movie.
What's the movie called?
The Killing Fields.
Mm.
And this movie is what helped inspire me to write my senior thesis. Yeah, and he was also the first actor from Southeast Asia to win an Academy Award for acting.
Huh.
And
When did this happen?
The Khmer Rouge happened in the 70s. This movie came out in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I was more asking. When was the movie?
It came out in the 80s. And he is the second non-professional actor to win an Academy Award.
Who was the first?
Harold Russell for The Best Years of Our Lives. And if you want an interesting fact, Harold Russell is the only person to win 2 Academy Awards the same year for the same role.
What? How'd that work out?
Oh, because the Oscar thought he wasn't going to win Best Supporting Actor, so they gave him a special Oscar for boosting soldier morale after the war. Then he won Best Supporting Actor.
What?
What a badass.
They made up an award for him.
Yeah, because they didn't think he was going to win. Because Harold Russell, he lost both his hands during a training accident in North Carolina for the military. He gets a great performance. Yeah, they're like, okay, he boosts soldier morale, give him an Oscar. He's not going to win it. Then he won it.
Sure. Well, that's
Okay.
definitely one of the weird things happening.
I had to ask a question. So, I feel like if y'all saw this movie, y'all would put this role on here. Has anybody seen Prisoners? Anybody seen that movie?
I have not.
Yes.
Yes.
How could y'all not put Hugh Jackman in the top 10? I mean, not like number 1, of course, but like top 10. He's so good. It's his best role.
Because I put other people ahead of him.
Well, why did you
Like,
lose
I
this
feel-
football team? The other team scored more.
Okay, because I put other performances ahead of him, like ones that didn't make the list. I had Marlon Brando on the waterfront, and I had Al Pacino Dog Day Afternoon ahead of him. Oh, and Robert De Niro King of Comedy.
And those aren't even actors. I mean, come on. He's like making up names now.
Like, who would has the last name of Pacino?
I know. Come on, Al. Come on now.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to number 1. Obviously,
Another villain.
Yeah, it's gonna be a villain.
Obviously, we've alluded to it. There's another villain. Definitely, we all saw this movie together opening night. Before this movie, when the trailers were coming out, the week before, we went on a trip together, and actually, this trip, ASP, we were quoting just from the trailer. We were quoting this man the whole time. Going, I'm pretty sure everybody pretty much. Also, I still quote him, and everybody tells me shut up.
He quotes him too much.
I did. It was so good. I mean, the best ever villain performance, in my opinion, coming in with 49 points. It is Heath Ledger as Joker in Dark Knight. Both Big Josh and myself put it number 1.
I did too.
And Max. And Max put it number 1. The Mountain put it number 2, along with D3, and Mr. Catan put it number 10. Jacob somehow didn't vote for it, but
I know, right?
I don't know, like, come on.
Yeah, look at that. Give it that face. Yeah, like what?
Are you crazy?
There's a question. There is a big question there.
We are tonight's entertainment. Where is Harvey Dent?
I'm actually going to let Catan go because he hasn't talked as much as everybody else. So,
Well, I would have put him higher than 10, but the fact that I know you guys, I knew it was going to make it anyway because of
he had
his
Star Wars
performance.
go in front of him. Star Wars is Star Trek.
Yeah. Anyway, but his performance is super good. I remember seeing it. It was my first Batman movie I've seen that was live action, and I was just kind of like blown away by how good it was. And his performance of being a great villain, his disappearing act, his like laughs, his like basically like when Batman's interrogating him, he's like he can take anything type of person. Like he has so many good scenes that he had to be somewhat crazy in real life to actually pull it off. So really, like I think you'd be silly not to at least consider him for your list because his performance is so good.
Jacob. I always find funny that do I look like a man with a plan? Like, yes, you do. Yes,
Clearly.
Well, I think Hunter says Leonardo DiCaprio getting lost in a role. Heath Ledger definitely got lost in the Joker, and I think that helped bring this to the next level. But I just want to talk about the interrogation scene. I think that's one of the most perfect scenes in movie history right there. That scene, I couldn't tell you how to improve it. It is perfect. And Heath Ledger and both Christian Bale just knock it out the park in that one. I mean, as Joker's getting punched in the face, he's just laughing like he feels no pain. He's getting walloped. These aren't light punches. He's getting a Batman full punch in the face, and he's just laughing.
Some like Deontay Wilder heavy shots, you know.
I will say Phoenix does a really good job, like trying to live up to him. He does a fine job, but like you can't beat Heath
For sure.
but I still like Phoenix.
Look, I just appreciate Walking Phoenix did something different. You can't imitate Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
'Cause I really enjoy both performances, but I think Heath Ledger's is more enjoyable. But I don't know. I think Walking Phoenix also knocked it out of the park. But
same.
He did.
Definitely.
I would
Both
say
of them definitely deserve the Oscars for their performances.
for sure,
But
for sure.
I think without Heath Ledger being Joker, I don't think Joaquin Phoenix would have gone that route. His Joker wouldn't have been exactly like that.
I don't know if they would have made the
probably
movie
not.
too, because
honestly.
they found out how popular Joker was.
Yeah.
I remember when Heath Ledger was first cast as Joker, and we all thought he was going to do a terrible job.
Terrible. Yeah. We're like, nah,
in that
this
first
ain't
trailer,
it.
I think he took it personally. I think he took it very personally.
That's like when everyone judges like a casting decision now. I'm like, well, you never know because I said the same thing with Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I don't do it no more because of Heath. I'm like, I questioned it once, I was way off, so I can be wrong again. So,
Well, we were right recently when we questioned Jared Leto as Joker.
yes.
We were right sometimes we're right.
But we always give it a
I more questioned it after that first set photo came out with all the tattoos.
Oh my
like,
God.
this
That's terrible.
I think really blame Leto. I more think it was the direction they were going with.
Leto's to blame too. Everybody in that movie is to blame.
That's a really good point,
especially
Phil.
the writers.
Yeah.
My thing with Heath Ledger's character, I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like it got him killed. What he was doing in the hotel room, just trying to prepare for the role, like not even getting daylight, which is what vitamin D, you need that. Like he spent like months in a hotel room and he poured it all out on the screen, and I love Heath Ledger for that.
I mean, he was having issues before, but yeah. Definitely.
Clearly, he has some like narcotic dependence and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, they said that was mainly because he dealt with really bad insomnia. Yeah. So it must have gotten to the point he just took more than he could take, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Just imagine what we could have had in the Dark Knight Rises, because I think
he would
play a big part.
Right.
That's like one of the biggest what ifs in like movie history. Is like what would I mean, who even knows what would have been called Dark Knight Rises, but what Dark Knight Rises have even looked like? And Christopher Nolan has said what they would have done, like it would have been like the trial or whatever. But I mean, who knows what it would have done?
I think, because like clearly the Joker would have been a way bigger part in that movie.
They don't even mention him in the movie.
Out of respect, of course. But the one thing that I think during the scene with Maggie Gyllenhaal's Rachel, the first one when they're doing like the gala, the banquet or whatever, that was the first time that she had like seen him with his actual whole costume and makeup on, and it freaked him out like so much that they kept that first take like in the movie. Like you can see her trying to shy away.
Michael Caine had a few lines in that scene, but he couldn't deliver them.
Yeah, like that's how much like just his presence as Joker had threw everyone off. Like when you have like other actors who can't get their lines out or are so uncomfortable because of what you're doing, like that's top tier.
Especially Michael Caine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
I also think that it had one of the best like intros for a character. I mean, I know technically Joker was like in the bank scene in the beginning, but I consider his first introduction to be when he meets the gang members in that meeting.
At
But
the kitchen.
even
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bank scene, you do the reveal at the end. Like he has
Yeah.
that great line, and then you see it, and you remember everybody was like, and like the theater, like, oh my gosh, here he is. Like, what are you? What are you?
He's a world class magician as well. 'Cause he made that pencil disappear.
Oh
With
my god.
Right.
Well, how did he get the pencil and the table in the first place without splintering it? Yeah.
That's the Joker. It's Joker.
Yeah,
I think he's
but-
a magician.
I think I really enjoyed like where they went, and like he really embodied what Joker is. Of Michael Caine says it best, like some people just want to see the world burn, and there's no sense or logic to him. That's it, and just everything he kept doing is like you just saw. He's like when he burns the money at the end is like it's not about the money, it's about sending a message, and just like you see that big wad of cash, and you just like whatever, and just like I don't care. It's just I don't care what. It's not what gives me thrills in life. And even he has this one line in when he's talking to the cop. He says how in the last seconds, everybody like in everybody's last seconds of life, people will show you who they truly are. And when Batman later at the end after that fight, he throws him down, and you see the Joker's just laughing maniacally to his death, kind of showing you he is truly insane. There's no like, that's who he is.
Well,
Yeah,
so,
so
speaking of like him being insane, again alluding to that, what I consider the first introduction is like mob. I can't remember which mob member it was, but they were like, "Oh yeah, you're crazy," and Heath Ledger, you can tell like
No,
he portrayed the Joker as he's like, "No, I'm not," and like Heath Ledger did such a good job portraying like the Joker does not think he's crazy. He thinks he's the only sane one in that room.
Mm-hmm. And to bounce off, like with the costume and makeup I was talking about, like he had this, I wouldn't say it was like the facial prosthesis, but you know, to mimic the scars, he turned that into a tick for the character. Like he kept licking his lips to like make sure it stayed in place. Yeah, that worked. Like that wasn't supposed to happen, but I love that they kept that, you know. But go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
Okay, was anyone else mad at Batman for causing us a potential third story about how he got the scars?
Oh yeah, that was going to be a comment later. I wanted to hear that story. I was like, who's this guy?
That also by the way, great writing of that movie to leave his origins and pretty much everything about him be ambiguous. We don't need to know the story of the Joker. He just is an enigma.
Well, yeah, and again, it speaks to Heath's performance that I was more excited to see him on the Joker on screen than Batman, and that I mean, in a Batman movie. I mean, that just tells you how good it was.
They may have been called Dark Knight, but it really was the Joker movie.
Yeah. Every time the Batman's on the screen, you're like, move out the way, man.
Get out of here.
Also, with the interrogation scene, as Max brought up earlier, he also really, like, he told Christian Bale to throw his head on against it to really get into the whole, like, fuzzy and, like...
He also came up with a clapping scene in the jail cell.
Oh, yeah, that's and just, like, a small thing, but so big. So, great job.
Even when we think he beat him, again, he had an ace in the hole. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. The scene where he was the 18-wheeler guy got flipped over and he's fumbling out and then he lets off a few rounds when he's trying to get up, but the gun shoots. That had me so weak, man. Yeah. The hospital scene with the clicky.
Oh my god.
Many view this as Christopher Nolan's best movie.
I don't know if this is bad.
I can talk about this movie all night.
I don't know. I'm like, we gotta stop ourselves in case we ever have to. Go on.
We still got another list after this.
Oh yeah. So thank you again. That is our list. Just to recap for you, coming in at 10th place with 10 points was Javier Bardem, Ricardo Montalban, and Forrest Whitaker. Coming in tied at 7th place was Daniel Day-Lewis for Gangs of New York, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith all with 13 points. Coming in at sixth place was James Stewart with 14 points. Fifth place was Christian Bale with 15 points. Tied at third place was Daniel Day-Lewis, this time in There Will Be Blood, with 25 points, tied with Denzel Washington as well. And coming at second place was Christoph Waltz with 39 points, and number one was Heath Ledger with 49 points. So, did you agree with our list? Were there some performances or some takes you actually had that might have differed, or you thought we could have added more? Please, in the comments below, please let us know what you think. Let us know what your list would have been and who you would have popped. Maybe there was some performances that you were like, I thought this guy did a lot better. So thanks again for all of you all watching. Thanks to all the views and making this channel go forward. Please like, subscribe, turn on those notifications to help with our algorithm. And shout out again to one of our top fans, Jack Benny, always commenting. You are the man.
Goat.
Yep. Again, my name is Legacy. You can follow me at wisdom_legacy.
And then my name's Max. I run the social media accounts for Core Discussions, and we'll leave the links to Twitter and Facebook below.
Where can we follow you?
I don't want them to follow my Twitter account.
Big Joshy 55. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you all guys listening.
I'm Bobby D3. If you want to read any of my instant classic books, the link we provide down low. I just updated my top 100 movies of all time.
All right. I'm Ian Catan. My YouTube channel is IanInLesbian. I got a lot of subs there. Feel free to check it out as well after you subscribe here. And I'll say as well, without Batman, crime has no punchline.
Oh my god.
Got him.
Wow.
I'm Vitamin J. You can find me at Twitch, Vitamin J91, or Twitter. Twitch, just Vitamin J, and Twitter, Vitamin J91. I will probably start streaming soon again.
And I'm Mountain/Hunter. Don't bother following me on social media.
Every
Why
time.
not, Hunter? Why shouldn't we follow you on social media?
Social media is a cesspool of society. We've essentially gone too far. We've gone too far.
This guy. All right. Thank you again. Catch you next time where all the discussions begin.
Join me. Imagine what we could accomplish together. What we could create. Or we could destroy.
You never see it coming.